And we are back. Thank you guys. This is our second time trying this. OBS has been very weird lately. It had the glitch with the WWE stuff where the sound was like delayed, and then it said it wasn't streaming, that I am streaming. So it looks like we are. And the other video streamed will just be up there. Anyway, this is the off season. We just got done doing about an hour and a half of WWE 2K. Like I said, this is the benefit. This is my last day of PTO time. So that's why we're able to do these extra streams with you during the afternoon. As always, if you guys want to see more of this kind of content, this is what it would be like if we were doing it full time. We'd have time to do it during the day. Unfortunately, in a part-time world, you get the non-commentary streams and stuff like that not as often. So help support the channel. If you want to tip us while we're going about this, Ko-fi and Streamlabs there is for you, as well as you want to see some of the bonus content from the recruiting that we've already done off camera. All of that is up on our Patreon page. But for right now, it is the Season 8 offseason. Colorado State of the newly formed Pac-12 came over, had a hell of a run, a Cinderella one, the lowest seed that's ever made a national championship at 19. And they went in there, went to overtime with Penn State, but in the end, it was Penn State getting the win. That game is streamed on our YouTube channel, so you guys can go check that out. And now we're going to jump into the recruiting here. The off season of Season 8. So we're going to look at this. This is a test. I've kind of mentioned this is a test of the alert, blah, 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 blah. I don't know how coach stability is so low unless I'm on the hot seat again, because whatever. We're 58th, just ahead of Florida, B-. Somehow Western Michigan and Akron are above us. Good Lord. But yeah, this is going to be a test to see viewership and interaction from you guys, because we normally do these off-season recruiting non-gameplay kind of stuff on Patreon, because it usually, the viewership for these videos, if you go look at the history, especially the RXFL stuff, the viewership for the non-gameplay videos is always really, really low. So I don't want to hurt the channel in that regard. You've heard, if you haven't heard it from me, you've heard so many YouTubers over the last couple of months talking about how rough the YouTube algorithm has gotten for content creators. And you really can't afford to have anything out there that's going to affect the channel, because you get one video that affects the channel, then the YouTube algorithm stops putting your video out there, and that's pretty much it. So we've been doing this stuff on Patreon. I wanted to put it here as a test run to see if there's a lot of interaction, because I want you guys to help me with recruiting. I want you guys to say, get that guy, don't get him, put hours here. Help me out with this. But if the viewership's not great and if the interaction's not there, I'll just keep it as a Patreon video where we kind of have more interaction with the smaller community that we have, and it doesn't hurt the channel. So putting that out there, an opportunity for you guys to say, I want to see this kind of stuff, not just the gameplay on the channel here. So let's jump in the chat. Let's get this thing going. And you can kind of see, we'll go through the final top 25, which obviously is going to be Penn State leading the way with their overtime win. Colorado jumped up from 15 to number 2, so they just immediately put Penn State and Colorado up there, and you can kind of go down the list. We ended up finishing at number 14, even though we had a dominant, pretty dominant bowl victory in the Cheez-Its Bowl there, but somehow we dropped a spot in the rankings. But that's where we're going to end up, and it's going to be interesting to see where we're ranked next season, considering we were ranked number 1 going into this year. A lot of the other stuff, stats and all that, you guys can see in the Patreon video. We did a whole off-season video before the bowl game, so go check that out, you guys, if you want to see more of that stuff. This is mainly going to be the recruiting and getting set up for next season. So a couple of firings here. A lot of this doesn't really mean anything to you because these are fake coaches. In the new game, they have the actual coaches, which is really cool. Troy fired their coach. That's my old alma mater, my actual alma mater, but then I did the Troy series, which you can see up on Patreon. Gators, LSU fired. LSU just won the national championship. Look at that. The career record, 56-36, a 6-0 bowl record. And LSU just won the national championship like 2 years ago, and they're already firing their head coach. That's crazy. Vandy looking for some change there. I'm gonna look at some of these career records, because some of these, I guess that doesn't necessarily mean at this school. That's their all-time career. And a lot of oh, it just kind of it starts over here. Boise State fired their coach. Oh, these are hireds. I thought this was still the fired list. Did Boise State fire their coach? Did they go too far? Or did they just hire a new coach? They might just hire a new coach. Okay, I went too far apparently. But I guess that's the most shocking one is the LSU win. When you look at career records, LSU coach had the best of the bunch. So that's kind of fascinating and crazy right there. Did we lose any staff on our end? I don't know. No, we didn't. So I think we're clean here. All right, we will move on to next week then. See what we're looking at. Players leaving. This is going to be the big one because I imagine. So we actually only have one guy that's leaving ahead of schedule. Quinn Terrain, and it says he could be highly persuaded to come back, but he's also projected to be a second round pick. So I don't want to ruin it for him. I wish I can see his stats so I kind of know what he's doing. Why not just try it? He decided to stay. Okay, so it's that easy. And here's all the other big names. A lot of these names, I'd say, didn't really get in there much. Not big names. Of course, George Uki, projected to be a first-round pick. That's awesome for us. Should I sort it by... So here's our big guys, yeah. Josh Hay is going to be missed for sure. Then Uki. Glenn Allen, he only came in for the 1 year. He's not a draft pick. That's crazy. He came in from Purdue, had a really good year with us, but not projected to be a draft pick. Max Simbucci as well. He's going to be missed. Max Jamison, a 5-star recruit, and he's not projected to be drafted either. That's kind of shocking. Andy Kinder, so a lot of pieces. This is kind of the Larry Carney as well. These are kind of the big names that are going to be leaving. Of course, other names down here, but not too big as far as guys that we're losing. So we'll head on to next week here. We're going to be doing some scheduling adjusting too because we got to add the new Texas State into the Pac-12 and was Louisiana Tech I think joined the Sun Belt. So let's look at draft results. Let's see what we got here for our guys. Okay, so some of our guys did get drafted. So Uki went in the first round. I took a picture for the archives. Hay, and then Glenn Allen, Simbucci, and Jamison. I was like, how does a 5-star recruit not get drafted? These are 7th rounds, so they got to fight for it in the NFL. But pretty cool that they'll be moving on to the next land. So we're gonna go into the transfer portal, and like we did last year, we're gonna go heavy into everybody that's wanting to transfer here. We definitely have some interest, so we're gonna add them to our list. These are all transfers, huh? So why are these locked out? They're not interested in us, or they're just... Did they do a patch or something? Because there's usually only like a couple of transfers, like a handful of them. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go into the recruiting board because we had kept guys on our list that we were hoping the recruitment would be flipped. We're going to get rid of all these guys. So, because if you're second on the list and the team that they recruited to breaks their commitment, they would flip to you. But now we're just going off our guys. We're out of the season now. You can see who we've kind of landed so far. Again, more detail of that if you go to our Patreon page. We do all this recruiting stuff, off-camera stuff that's not on here. We do it over on our Patreon page. So, we're still working on all these guys. A couple of 3-stars that we may end up. Yeah, we might just drop guys that we have like no shot at. Yeah, ones that were pretty much down the list. So anyway, if you want to see more of this kind of stuff, it's up on our Patreon page. If you're wondering, oh, who's he recruited so far? Who's all the guys that he's landed and everything? Though that's all up on Patreon. So these are all team needs, and they are in the transfer portal. Marshall, Wyoming. So we are going to add everybody that we have a need for. Mr. Weathersby wants to come here, but we don't need a quarterback right now. We're pretty stacked high. So everyone that we have a team need, though, that's kind of in this top tier list, I think we're just going to go all out for. And then prospects, we've kind of, I guess for the most part during the season, loaded up. I think the only question mark is, you see, we kind of got locked out on a kicker and a punter. We were kind of going after that, and I want to see where can we... Oh, team needs. So Garcia's leaving. We still have 2 kickers, so we don't necessarily have to have a kicker. We're still doing good in that regard. And we do have plenty of punters, and a sophomore punter in there as well. So I suppose we're okay punting-wise. And we got some 80s as well in the special teams game, so that's okay. So we're just going to focus on recruits so far. So let's go... or not recruits, transfer portal guys. That's a guy I'm really excited about. 5-star wide. We landed a lot of receivers. Again, it's up on Patreon. Go check that out. But we are going to go through the list, and the guys that we've added from the transfer portal, we are going to try to make a run at it. So he's pretty much committed, so I don't think we have to put many points into him. He's good to go. Just got to give him the sign on the dotted line. I want to hold off on some of these guys because I want to focus on these other guys that we just added. I don't know how necessary scouting is, but so we can send the house, and we want to be bringing these guys in. Well, we don't know anything about them, so we can't do the scheduled visit yet. So we'll just do send the house for right now on a lot of these guys. These are the transfer portal guys. We're Tennessee man, Peyton Manning. We want to bring them all in. These are all 4 stars. I mean, our running back's going to get mad if we bring another running back in to the family. But you got to do what you got to do. We're trying to win it all in the transfer portal world. So these are all transfer portal guys we're bringing in. We'll look at we're just going to do scholarships and send the houses for now. And then when we're at the end, all the points that we have. So I don't know if it's even necessary to do the scouting or if that even helps, because we kind of... I mean, we know what talent they are. They're 4-star guys. They've already been in schools, but someone will just have to let me know if that's a worthwhile thing. But we're making offers to everybody here, and then we'll get into the meat of the matter once we get into the next week here. So we'll finish off these. These were all team needs that we needed as well. I just said team needs, so... I know one nice thing they apparently added in the new game is you can see your team needs right on screen without having to go to a separate screen. That'll be nice. If the price really goes down, if we ever get fired from Coach Peyton Manning or something and the price goes down, we might probably pick up 26. But at a full price game, or I think it's like 30% off right now, which is kind of crazy for a brand new game, we're holding off on that one for right now and finishing what we got here. So... because that's something that could easily have been patched into this game. They put that as a feature in a new game, put a $75 price tag on it, but that could easily be in this game. You know what I mean? Okay, so let's order this by guys that are interested, so we can kind of see where we want to divvy our points. So we don't need to worry about that. We don't need to worry about Jabbar Daniel. He's pretty much, you would think, locked in. I don't know if I want to waste a trip on him because he's pretty much locked in as well. So let's just do a 25-pointer there. You're good to go. You're good. These are all 3 stars. This wasn't really strong competition. These were guys that they had interest. They were 3 stars. It's like, all right, let's grab them. They'll have a spot on the team. Why not? Because you can't fill your whole roster with 5 and 4-star players. So. Mike Tobias, we got South Alabama creeping up a little bit, but I'm going to hold off. I'll throw some points here. You know what? Let's do a visit with Ed. And we will talk about us being a championship contender because we're in a recruitment battle with Kennesaw State. So it's like, come on. And he's technically a 4-star because he's got the gem by him. So Victor Trueblood, do we want to put any points into him? Battling with Auburn. We actually have enough for a hard sell, actually. So let's remove this. And we'll do a hard sell instead. And you gotta freaking find the thing. I wish there was a... There almost should be a way, once you have everything unlocked and you do the hard sell, it should automatically pick it. Now, this should be an option if you try to do the hard sell with there being question marks. But if you already have everything, or it should be like a star, like this is the one you want to pick. Like I shouldn't have to dig through that when I already have everything settled. Jeremy Boone, you know, battling with some SEC teams, scholarship offered. We can schedule a visit here. Let's do. He really wants his pro potential. We can say that, hey, we just sent 5 players to the draft, including 2 in the first round. So, buddy, you are, and you can hear the same recruiting pitch on the guy we're gonna bring in. So, there you go. Okay, so we still have points to give, and we can add 4 more people. We added everybody in the transfer portal. Do we take a shot? We don't really need another quarterback, right? I mean, here's our quarterback list. Chris Fritz is coming back. I guess that was the big thing. We kind of buried the lead there. Chris Fritz is coming back for his senior year. We have Schlesinger still. And then next year, it seems like it's going to be between Pepper and Percy Brents. And I guarantee you Pepper's probably going to win that battle. But and we have Trueblood, who's technically a quarterback athlete. So we really don't need another quarterback to recruit. And then everybody else is transfers like a 2-star. So let's go to the recruit board and let's just see if there's any other top stars that we can maybe nab at the last minute, bring in. We were kind of down to our 3 stars at that point. You see, here's a 3-star, but he rated low. You can see the diamond. Open recruitment. These are wide receivers. It says we all need. Okay, let's throw in 2 wideouts. Fullback. See, we're recruiting. Let's get a 3-star center. Is that everybody? Okay. Just because we got points to spend. And we've pretty, like, all the big names, they've either been gobbled up already, or, I mean, there's nothing else, you know what I mean? So we're just kind of grabbing what we can here, seeing if we can fill out the scholarships. And then in the next page is where we'll divvy out those trips, depending on. I guess we'll still have some points left over. Maybe not, because this is going to be the last 50 that we can spend. We'll throw a scholarship your way, and we will do some scouting. All right, and we will head on. Again, jump in the comments. Yes, jump in the comments if you have any advice, anyone you want to see me go after, what have you. You can do all that. We're going to see as we go past part 1 here. Okay, no one signed with us yet, especially some of these holdouts still hanging in there. So we'll go to our interest. Guys, no one else creeping on these guys. He's got a visit. I feel like we got to schedule a visit here, even though we're so far ahead. Everyone's scheduling a visit. let's get him in early. Let's get him in week 2. Let's show him our facilities. You're good, you're good, you're good. Okay, now is where we're gonna start doing some more visit stuff. So, because now we can actually, we didn't do the visits last time because we didn't know what guys were interested in. Now we do. So we know you want to be proximity to home. I think is important for a lot of guys. So we will do that. It was for him at least. So that's what we're gonna talk about. Well, you're really far ahead, so I don't know if we need to use a visit on you. The hard sell has not worked on Mr. Boone yet, so let's DM him because we got 10 more points to give. We got to get True Blood in here. We're battling with Auburn. Let's schedule him to come in. And you like the pro potential here. Now, he is an athlete, and he wants to be a quarterback, so I don't know where that'll fit in, but... And we will do a scheduled visit here. Fill all these in. Championship contender. Oh, shoot. Okay. Where are we at here with Georgia Tech? Texas State in the mix, too. They're recruiting for it, even moved into a new conference. Schedule visit for week 3. Talk about your brand, buddy. Battle with USC. Schedule you also week 3. Get both of you guys talking about the brand. For the brand. James Conn. Not really interested in Tennessee just yet. So we will get you scheduled. And, ooh, proximity to home. So we will not do that yet. Because you really want to play. That's your big one. And you are very far away from Tennessee. So that could be a long shot. Levi O'Shaughnessy. Yeah, okay. Schedule and playing style, A+. Luckily for us, we got a lot of A's, you know, playing with a big school. I kind of started, it was a random pick, you know. A lot of people like to build a school from the ground up. I picked 5 teams at random, and it was like Minnesota, Northwestern, Tennessee, Texas, and South Alabama. I think were the 5 random picks. And that's how I picked Tennessee out of the mix. So everyone does a rebuild. I've done enough rebuilds, and technically Tennessee hasn't won in a long time. So even though it's not a rebuild per se, it's still trying to get Tennessee to that promised land. So, you know, we did the rebuild with Troy, and we did the you know, the Utah one and all that in the past, so. And kind of the same thing in Madden, too. We did the rebuild with the Lions, but then we went into Madden 20, just being the 49ers. They fired us, and then we kind of had to go down to Dolphins and Broncos, and same thing there. Championship contender, yes. I don't know. We should save maybe some of our trips. Top 5, so he has not narrowed down yet. Yeah, because we're running out of trips, and we might still have guys that we want to come in. So we're going to hang on to those points. Ooh, he is... We're not going to spend too much time on... Let's get you out of here and see if there's somebody else we can snag. Is there anybody else in the portal that has, like, an interest that we haven't already... Nah, looks like... Holy smokes, everyone just bailed out. They must have patched this, because this was... Did they? Someone have to let me know in the comments, because it used to only be like 5 guys, like transfer portal guys. Like there would only be like 5 total guys in the transfer portal. And you would just be able to go off. But now like everybody's in here. So maybe they patched something. I don't know. Somebody will let me know. All right, let's look at interest status, because maybe there's somebody we can just kind of snag. Something that we need. Do we go after... So we already looked at him. We don't need a second fullback. Let's just see. Maybe there's a hidden gem in here. This 2-star. Maybe he's got something we're looking at. Let's just try it. We got points to give. We got one more scholarship to give. Let's try it. Okay, yes, we are going to move on here to week number 3. All right, there you go. We got our outside linebacker. We got our halfback. We've lost a couple of battles with some guys. We lost Jeremy Boone. And we lost Walt Fredrickson. Okay, and a couple of other guys have booted us off the list. So back to the board. But we got 2 signees, so we're still checking in on all our guys, still doing good. Oh, San Jose State making a little bit of a run here. Okay, we're looking good here. These are all looking good. This is the guy we just jumped into the mix with, our 2-star. Do we hang on to him? It's only a verbal commitment, right? You could flip it maybe. There's much left we can do with Victor here. We can throw 10 points his way, but we've pretty much got everything. All right, James Conn. So we can get well, we don't know what his other thing is. That's the problem. I want to bring him in for a visit, but it might be a tough one trying to get him to come all the way to Tennessee because he does not want to be far away from home. All right, we're going to drop you. Drop you. And that, again, will kind of open things up a little bit. But now we're kind of getting down to, almost hate to say, but the scraps that are left right now. Like guys that we've already tried to recruit and then we kind of, gave up on. Free safeties, yeah. Ooh, okay. 4-star action in there. Miami guy. I guess a lot of people kind of do. I go with interest status, or I know a lot of people go like based off of the pipeline. Like these are all Tennessee. I should do that more often. I don't really look into that. Like there's a guy in our backyard from Knoxville that's now going to Vanderbilt, but we were stacked at quarterback, so we didn't need anything like that. Yeah, these are all pipeline guys that we could probably get, but they're 3- and 2-star guys. We got Henderson from Tennessee, so we got that. So, it's like we got most of our pipeline guys, and the rest that we didn't were all, so either way. So we got, is there any other visits that are worth throwing out there? Because we got points and we got weeks to give. Okay, so no other gems, but that could be a sneaky good one in there. We'll have to see. Let's bring some of these low interest guys if we can figure out what they want. I'm gonna keep him on the list for just a little bit here. Everybody else has pretty much got high interest, so all the other ones are kind of down here. We already got a visit schedule. We don't know what he likes. You don't know what a lot of these guys like, so yeah, we're kind of on the outs. Okay, that's fine. Skip ahead. Yep, we need to skip ahead. Yes, exit. All right, week 4. Then we'll be getting into some schedule stuff and pretty much the everything from there. Okay, so we lost out these guys here. So final week, let's drop them off the list and just do like a final push for some couple of guys. Bye. Goodbye. So we can add 4 more guys to the list. Should we let's go pipeline. If there's still some guys out there. They might not be top tier, but by God, they're Murfreesboro, he wants to go to Middleton, so I'll leave him. But if there's some guys that are open that are part of the pipeline, yeah, I kind of gave up on recruiting you. Say we got most of our pipeline guys already. And we're reaching to Georgia now. Go get some Georgia guys. Yeah, we're kind of like at the end of the list here. We've, other than grabbing some athletes, filling out the list that way. Why not? 2-star, throw it in the mix. And why not a kicker? We said we didn't need any, but you know, bring in some kicking competition. See, it does get to that point with recruiting. I don't know if it's like that. Maybe not for the other teams. Tennessee, you kind of get a lot of points by being little hidden gem there. Tennessee, you kind of get the benefit of that being a bigger school, right? I don't know if the smaller schools have that trouble, but once you get down to it in recruiting, you end up having a bunch of points, and then the guys that are kind of left are just, you know, which I guess for some schools, that'd be, yeah, you get the, get the 2-star whatever. Ooh, okay. We're gonna have to remember this name, Felix Poe. I might take a picture. This might be. I always like an underdog, right? Underdog story. He's a 2-star, not really getting recruited by anywhere. Tennessee, other than Duke, is the biggest school coming in, giving him attention. Let's see if this guy ends up being a stud. If we get him, we'll have to keep an eye on him. Let's see how the career turns out. Now I really want to get him now. That's not a guarantee. But, okay. So that's it. We are going to go to, what is the final week here? Signing day. So now everyone's got to make their commits. So here we go. Ooh, we got James Conn. Wow. The California. I didn't think he was going to do it. We were way behind Arizona State. So keep an eye out for James Conn. Remember that name when we play. Interesting. We got Russell Wade, another linebacker. Stephen Witt, wide receiver. And we got Felix. Okay, so we came in out of nowhere, right? We came in out of nowhere with Felix, 2-star. We offered him a scholarship, and he was not getting, and he went with us. Keep an eye out. Is this guy going to be somebody, or is he going to be buried on the depth chart? So how about that? Out of nowhere. We lost out. Oh, the game went past. The game went past and went to the goals. So we lost out on everybody else. So everyone else was a verbal commitment. They still could have flipped, but we wanted to kind of go after some final guys. So Felix, we're keeping an eye out on Felix. That's kind of cool that we got that. So National Signing Day. So here it is. I'll go through it really quick. Most of you that have been following this on Patreon, you kind of know already. So you can kind of pause and look at this on your own. We got most of our scholarships in, not everybody, but I want to. This is the one. I want to. How much did we? Oh, it doesn't show our competition. I wanted to see like compared to everybody else, and these were kind of the other guys we were trying like at the very end. Did we get the kicker? No, we didn't. Okay, so let's see. Let's go look at top classes here, and we got there. We're always like pretty high up as far as classes go. We're always up there. I mean, we got blown out in 4 stars, but we pack them in the 3 stars here. So we're going to be 13th, and I'm going to take that for the archives. So Wade is going to be a big one. That's a transfer. Hippenhammer, the 4-star. I think that's a name you can't forget. Khan is a transfer. 300 pounds, a big guy. A lot of big wide receivers. We should have a stacked wide receiver group, which is what they're saying. And we're going to look at that in just a bit. Position changes, that's for the athletes. Typically, I let the game do that because we just have so many. Like for the athlete, there's only 3. But like, what does it matter? I let the game kind of decide here. Like they're all basically going to be 60s wherever they are. So what does it matter? I'll let the game decide those ones. Still surprised we haven't lost Schlesinger yet. He's a 4-star, and he was backup, but he never got in over Chris Fritz. So it's been nice to kind of have that consistency going into season 8. You know, we had 3 seasons with, we had the 1 season with Nico Iamaliama. Then we had the 3 season with Jake Merklinger. Then we had the weird year where we kind of couldn't figure out what we wanted to do. LaDainian Britton play. And then it's been Chris Fritz. So we've had pretty consistent between those 3 guys. Training result, we'll look at all that. We'll care about that when we get into the depth chart stuff. Encourage transfers. We could encourage Mr. Now we got a couple of guys we need to get rid of here. Oh, Felix is only a 53 overall. Let's see. Look at all the quarterbacks. Pepper's supposed to be the big one coming up. Redshirt sophomore, so he'll be a junior next year. Do we say Percy Brent? Should we try to get rid of him? Because we know Pepper's going to be the guy next year. Unless he gets hurt. Is there any point to having him on the team? Or, I don't know. Trying to think of any guys we want to... Look at this wide receiver room. With Poe being down at the bottom. Man, we got to get our guy Poe up there. So we can't do any of these that cannot be transferred. Okay. So, I guess for special teams, we don't necessarily need this many punters. Even though these are all like junior and seniors. But we got to get rid of some guys. Her to transfer. Man, was our Heisman winner last year. Come on. Can't get rid of any of them. Ooh, do we have like no tight ends? Jesus, what happened there? I don't know what the heck happened there. Oh my god, we don't have any left guards? We ended up with 20,000 right guards, but then we didn't end up with any left guards. All right, I'm gonna let the game handle that one. I'm gonna hey, you guys handle this. All right, custom. let the coaches handle. So the only other big conference realignment stuff was Texas State, right, and Louisiana State, I believe. Someone let me know in the comments if that's correct. So UTEP we can move back. Let's make sure. What conferences are they going to end up being in? Okay, I gotta do some Googling here. So 14 teams. So who left the Sun Belt? Oh, Texas State. So I guess they would be in the West, right? It wouldn't be in the East. So we're gonna add Louisiana Tech. What the heck conference were they in before? Yeah, so we're gonna add you, and then Texas State. You are Pac-12 bound. And then UTEP, they're in Conference USA, right? Yes. So Conference USA gets UTEP back. Conference USA. No. No. Pac-12. Okay. So UTEP heads back. So let's make sure we got all these conferences. So let's just ask Grok. Hey Grok, give me all of the college football conferences and teams for the 2026 season. Grok will give me the list here. My voice to text changed the name to Rock, and he said, "Hey, I'm not Rock, I'm Grok." Okay, the ACC says here it's 17 teams. Do we have that here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So that should be everybody. 17 teams with Gonzaga. So that should be good to go. Big Ten should be the 18 teams. And it is 4, 8, 12, 16, 17, 18. Nothing changes there. That's funny. Hey, I'm not Rock, I'm Grok. The Big 12 is 16 teams. Yes, which is all the Arizona State, BYU, Baylor, Cincinnati, Colorado, Houston, Iowa State, Texas Tech, West Virginia, Utah. Okay, so Conference USA, they did SEC next. Okay, which nothing changed there. That's 16, and that's your same normal people there. Group of 5, the American is 14 teams. Which is 4, 8, 12, 14. So Army, yeah, Charlotte. This is an alphabetical order. I love Grok. This is very nice. East Carolina, Florida Atlantic, Memphis, who tried to get into the big whatever, and they didn't take their money. Rice, Temple, Tulane, Tulsa, UAB, USF, and yes. Says the Pac-12 tried to poach UTSA, Tulane, Memphis, and UF. I think I did 1 year on here where they were in the Pac-12 because that was like the big rumor at the time. Conference USA is 11, but I think we don't have a lot of those teams because we don't have Delaware, FIU, Jacksonville State, Kennesaw, Liberty, Middle Tennessee. It says Louisiana Tech, but Louisiana Tech is leaving. Missouri State, we do not have. New Mexico State is here. Sam Houston is here. Western Kentucky. It does not have UTEP listed. Oh, UTEP's going to the Mountain West. Okay. I don't know if I realized that or not. So UTEP to the Mountain West. Okay. So back to Conference USA. So Conference USA should have 11 teams. We have the 8. Well, it says 11, but it's counting Louisiana Tech, so technically 10. And then Delaware and Missouri, which it doesn't have yet. It says Conference USA loses UTEP to the Mountain West, leaving it with 11 teams. There's speculation about Louisiana Tech or Western Kentucky moving to the Sun Belt, which Louisiana Tech already has. Western Kentucky has not. So that's fine for Conference USA because Grok says 11. One is Louisiana Tech, and the other two is Delaware and all them. Okay. So the MAC is 12, which we have 11 here. The MAC added UMass and dropped Northern Illinois. So UMass went to the MAC. So I missed that somehow. I'm gonna have to verify all this. I mean, I guess I believe Grok. Let me Google this. UMass MAC. Yes, University of Massachusetts is joining the MAC. Okay, so that would be the 12 teams there, which is Akron, Ball State, Bowling Green, Buffalo, Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan, Kent, Miami, Ohio, Toledo, UMass, and Western Michigan. So I like these little notes here at the bottom. Grok does have these little notes. Which is very helpful. Grok is the best. Okay, so 12 for the MAC, and the Sun Belt's the only conference that still has. Are they still doing divisions? Is the Sun Belt still doing divisions in football? I think they're the only ones. Yes, Sun Belt's still using divisions in football. So they're the only ones that still do. Yes, the division. So we'll keep that as official. Okay, so we got the MAC stuff. This is almost an hour. I thought this was going to be like a 30-minute video. We have streamed a lot with you guys today. I might take a rest tomorrow. I don't know. The Mountain West, it says there should be 9 teams. Air Force, Hawaii, Nevada, New Mexico. These are all out of order now. San Jose State, UNLV, UTEP, and Wyoming. The Mountain West loses Boise. Hawaii is a football-only member, so that is correct. And the Pac-12, which is 8 teams, and that is correct. Boise, Colorado, Fresno, Oregon, San Diego, Texas State, Utah State, Washington State. And then the Sun Belt Conference, it says, is 13, but that is with Louisiana Tech. So the East, the Carolinas, App State, Coastal Carolina, Georgia Southern, Georgia State, James Madison, Marshall, and Old Dominion. And in the West, Troy, South Alabama, Louisiana, Louisiana Tech, Southern Miss, Arkansas, Louisiana Monroe. Sunbelt loses Texas State to the Pac-12. And he talked about that. And then Independent is Notre Dame and UConn, which is correct. So, perfect. Great. Thank you, Grok. I will give that a thumbs up. Some respect for Grok. And that is all squared away there. Yes, so the last thing should just be getting the schedule set. We'll look at the roster real quick, and then we'll be off to our season. I will... Maybe I'll come back and do that stuff, because we're kind of hitting the hour-long mark. I'll set up the custom schedules and all that, but I may do the recruiting stuff off camera just because we're getting kind of long in the tooth here. We'll look at the top 25. So they got us at 7, so they're not ranking us as high as they did last year. Penn State, the defending champs, at 4. Colorado State at 18. Preseason All-Americans. Anything as far as us? We got our right guard up there. Very good. We got a cornerback, Quinn Terrain. And second team, anybody from us? Colorado State will be interesting. I kind of want to play Colorado State a little bit. But yeah, so I'm going to save. I may end up doing that for Patreon, or I'll just do it off camera. Let me know. Because like I said, we're getting kind of long, and I'm already worried about this video as part of the YouTube algorithm. So I won't set up the recruiting board yet. I'll save that, but I'll do the custom schedule. We'll look at the depth chart at least to give you guys that before we do the custom schedule and call this one a day. So quarterback, they got Schlesinger up there again, but Chris Fritz is the guy. I hate to say, Schlesinger's got to be back up, and then Percy Brent's right there. Pepper, I think, has got it. Well, you got Hennessy, who is went up in the ranks, but it's been all about Pepper. Everyone's been looking at him. Halfback Brightwell he's bumped down in the rankings. I have to say it as a senior. You always want to let a senior play, but there's a reason he wasn't playing last year. So Montrell Small is in there. A couple of freshmen at fullback. And then wide receivers. Look at this. You got Hippenhammer, the true freshman, the 5-star coming in, and he's immediately in the starting lineup. You also have another freshman. He's a redshirt freshman, but Angelo Lutman. I'd have to go back and look at my archives. Obviously, we recruited him at some point, but Lutman, a couple of freshman wide receivers leading the way. Then you got Charleston Blanco, who I don't think played at all last year. He's a senior getting his shots. Look at the freshmen, but this is a stacked freshman class. Like, many people would be worried seeing all these freshmen up here, but we brought in some top-ranked freshmen, including our guy Poe, Felix Poe. At some point, my man's going to get in there. We got to keep an eye out on him. But 4 freshman wide receivers. It's going to be very interesting. Tight ends here. We're kind of in a bad spot with tight ends, so we got to hit the recruiting in a big way. Although, I don't know, the 94 overall as a tight end, as a right tackle. That's interesting. But Carmelo Gilmore is going to be our starting tight end there. Solid with the left tackles. Look at that. We got a right guard, 95 overall. That's up there. Center's in the 80s, so the offensive line would be as good as it can be. Left end, Josh Forsett, 92. Right end, you got Richard Hopper. And a couple of good defensive tackles here. Some experience on the line. Linebackers, Nicholson coming back at 95 overall. Our Heisman winner last year. Then we got Noah Bridge, the linebacker. Russell Wade, looking good. Quinn coming back as well. We got Quick, Bright, free safety. We got, that could be a little bit of a weak point here over the line. We got to keep an eye out on that. That's interesting. What do we got here? We don't have any strong safeties, so we got to. I think we just got to make this change. Put these corners up here. That could be scary. I don't know what happened there. Because we recruited, unless we just were not getting the guys and then we never added them back to the list. So I did a bad job there. Tight end and strong safety, I really whiffed on. So I got to make a mental note. So that's gonna be interesting. We gotta see, but we're putting Yarbrough in that position. And then kicker, we're looking good. Zolomon, he's been good for us. 84, and then we're looking good punting wise. So, okay. So some of that stuff's a little scary. That's kind of good to know. As far as the scheduling, that should be pretty easy because we're finishing up our home and homes, and then I think we just have like one more. We have a special kickoff game, even though it's not named anything. We're gonna keep that, so that'll actually make this really easy for us. Trying to get my notes to finish off our home and homes, which are this neutral site game at Bank of America Stadium, which doesn't have a name. I guess we'll call it the Duke Mayos because it's in North Carolina. We've had a lot of these, man. We had, I'm trying to think back. We had the NC State one, which was the Duke's Mayo kickoff. We had the Aflac kickoff last year with Syracuse. Syracuse or Virginia. I think Virginia. Then we had one of the years where we did kick off with Syracuse. We had the Orlando kickoff with Michigan State. I'm trying to think of the other ones. There's Syracuse, Virginia, North Carolina State, Michigan State. I think those were the big ones, and those were two of them were the Aflac game. One was the Duke's Mayo. One was Orlando. So we got another kickoff game here, Florida State. And then we need to change this because we need to play Middle Tennessee and James Madison to finish off that series. So Middle Tennessee at home. And then let's do our James Madison one at home. to finish off. We cannot do that here. Can we do... We can. So then we'll do our traveling to complete the 3-game set with Northern Illinois. They came to our home twice. Now we're going there. This was a 2-game home set. And then James Madison will finish off the 3-game set with them if we can here. If they're open, they're not. So, delete. Deleted. James Madison, or maybe we got to delay James Madison to another year if they're not going to be available. Ooh, they are. There they are. So that will complete our scheduling here. All of our schedules, I try to do it like real life, home and homes, or a lot of the bigger schools do like 3 and 2s. But that is the schedule. A neutral site, the Dukes Mayo Classic with FSU. Then we come home. We got Middleton at home in kind of an in-state battle. We travel to Northern Illinois. So we got some road games there. And then we finish off the 3-game set with James Madison. Then let's just see, did any of our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we ended up with 5 road games. So it did get screwed up with moving the conferences around, which is rather unfortunate. So technically 7 games on the road, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at home. But we've had a lot of home games, so what the heck. So we got Mississippi State at home. We traveled to Kentucky to try to avenge that loss. We got the home against Georgia, try to avenge Texas A&M at Texas A&M. Then we got Texas. We traveled to LSU. That'll be our first time to travel to LSU. Then at Oklahoma, and then at Vandy again. We played at Vandy last year. But again, the schedules get all messed up when you move the teams around. It's just how the game is. So at Vandy, at Oklahoma State, that's going to be, down the stretch here. We got at Texas A&M, then number 1 Texas, then at LSU, at Oklahoma, at Vanderbilt. Going to be nuts. All right, that is it. We are going to save it. That is our schedule. I'll do recruiting stuff either on Patreon or off camera, adding to the board and all that stuff. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Appreciate it as always. If you like what you saw, if you want to see this continue here, let me know in the comments. Viewership will dictate it, but if not, we're going to be doing this over on Patreon in the future. So thank you for tuning in, everybody. See you guys next time on TB Sports.